Be prepared. Tomorrow, something shifts, and I mean really shifts. Most people will wake up on April 21st expecting just another Monday, just another day. But what's actually about to happen? It's the kind of cosmic event that changes everything. The moon is about to return home, and when I say home, I mean its true domicile, the one sign where it operates with absolute power, unfiltered emotion, and pure instinct. Tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon, the moon crosses into Cancer, and with it comes a tidal wave of emotional release that most people desperately need right now, but don't even know is coming. But here's what makes this different. Here's why this hits different than any other lunar transit you've experienced this year. This moon isn't arriving into empty space. It's meeting exalted Jupiter, the great benefic, already stationed in Cancer and operating at maximum strength. And that combination, that's what unlocks the 3 major blessings. And if you've been feeling completely exhausted lately, like you've been wearing invisible armor that's getting heavier by the day, keep watching. Because there's one specific reason why you're feeling this right now, and I'll explain it later. But first, you need to understand what's been happening to you. You've been through a war you didn't sign up for. Let's talk about what you've actually been experiencing. For the past week, maybe longer, something has felt off. You've been on edge, snapping at things that normally wouldn't bother you. Your patience has been paper thin, sleep hasn't been restful. And there's this constant nagging sense that you need to defend yourself even when there's no clear threat. This isn't in your head. This is real. And it's not your fault. What you've been living through is the Aries stellium, a massive concentration of planetary energy in the sign of the warrior, the fighter, the survivor. Mars, Saturn, Mercury, the Sun. They've all been stacked up in Aries, creating an atmosphere of relentless pressure, blocked momentum, and aggressive survival mechanics. Mars, the planet of action and drive, is in its home sign of Aries. That should be powerful, right? It should be energizing. But here's the problem. Saturn is there too. And Saturn in Aries is in its fall, which means it's operating from weakness, rigidity, and overcompensation. When Mars wants to charge forward and Saturn slams on the brakes, the result is frustrated energy, blocked ambition, the feeling that no matter how hard you push, you're not getting anywhere. And then Mercury entered the picture. Your mind, your nervous system, your ability to think clearly, it's been dragged through this same battlefield. Today, April 20th, Mercury made exact conjunctions with both Saturn and Mars. First, it hit Saturn this morning, bringing heavy thoughts, mental restriction, and pessimistic spirals. Then tonight, it collides with Mars, triggering aggressive communication, mental overload, and intellectual combat. Your nervous system has been running on fumes. You've been operating in fight-or-flight mode for days, maybe weeks. The armor you've been wearing, it's psychological, emotional, and it's absolutely exhausting. And that's exactly why tomorrow's lunar ingress is going to feel like the first real breath you've taken in forever. The moon is coming home, and it's bringing gifts. Tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon, the moon enters Cancer. And for those who don't speak astrology, let me translate what that actually means. The moon is returning to the one sign where it has absolute dominion, complete comfort, and pure, unfiltered power. Cancer is ruled by the moon. It's the moon's home, and when a planet returns to its domicile, it operates at maximum efficiency. There's no translation required, no uncomfortable adjustments, no forcing itself to work through incompatible energy. The moon in Cancer is the moon being purely, authentically itself. And what does the moon represent? Your emotions, your instincts, your gut feelings, your need for comfort, safety, and deep connection. Your ability to process feelings without needing to intellectualize them, your somatic wisdom, the intelligence of the body that knows things your mind hasn't figured out yet. For the past few weeks, while the Aries stellium has been raging, your emotions have been suppressed. They've had to be. Aries energy doesn't have time for feelings. It's all action, aggression, and survival. Your emotional body has been sitting in the back seat, gagged and bound, while your warrior self took the wheel. But tomorrow, the moon says, it's safe now, you can take the armor off, you can finally feel everything you've been holding back. And because Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, and divine grace, is already in Cancer, exalted and operating at peak power. This emotional release isn't just cathartic, it's transformative. It unlocks blessings, real, tangible, life-altering blessings. Blessing 1. The armor finally comes off. The first blessing happens the moment the moon crosses into Cancer, and you'll feel it, maybe not immediately, but within hours, something inside you will start to soften. Remember that teaser I mentioned at the beginning, about feeling exhausted like you're carrying invisible weight? This is why. You've been wearing emotional armor for weeks, heavy, restrictive, suffocating armor that you needed to survive the Aries battlefield, but that you were never meant to wear forever. Mars conjunct Saturn forced you into defensive posturing. It made you hyper-vigilant. It convinced you that showing vulnerability was dangerous, that letting your guard down would get you hurt. So you didn't. You stayed strong. You pushed through. You gritted your teeth and kept moving. But tomorrow, when the moon enters Cancer, your body receives a direct message from the cosmos. The threat has passed. You're safe now. And that's when the armor starts to crack. Maybe you'll cry without knowing exactly why. Maybe you'll feel waves of emotion that don't have a clear story attached to them. Maybe you'll just exhale in a way you haven't in weeks and suddenly realize how tightly you've been holding your breath. This is the somatic catharsis the document talks about. Your nervous system is shifting from sympathetic overdrive, fight or flight, into parasympathetic restoration, rest and digest. Your body is literally recalibrating. And here's what makes this a blessing. You're not just releasing stress, you're releasing old patterns of emotional suppression. You're proving to yourself that it's safe to feel, safe to be vulnerable, safe to stop performing strength when what you actually need is softness. The waters of Cancer wash away the burnt, abrasive residue of the Aries fire, and when that happens, you don't just feel better, you feel real again, authentic, connected to yourself in a way you haven't been in far too long. This emotional unlocking hits different because of the extreme deprivation that came before it. If you'd been emotionally open all along, this transit would feel gentle, maybe even subtle. But because you've been so restricted, so defended, so armored, when the release finally comes, it's profound. It's the difference between a light rain and a monsoon after a drought. Your home will suddenly feel like a sanctuary. The second blessing goes deeper than just feeling better. It's about your actual foundation, the physical and emotional spaces that hold you. Cancer rules the 4th house in astrology. That's the house of home, roots, ancestry, and deep inner security. It's not just about where you live, it's about where you belong. And with exalted Jupiter already in Cancer, massively expanding this sector, the moon's arrival tomorrow activates enormous potential for root-level abundance. On a psychological level, this blessing manifests as a profound sense of coming home to yourself. You'll start to recognize that true safety doesn't come from controlling the external world. That's the Aries-Saturn approach, and it's exhausting. True safety comes from cultivating an unshakable inner sanctuary, a loving, supportive internal world that no external chaos can touch. You might find yourself suddenly craving comfort in ways you haven't in weeks. You'll want to be in your actual home, maybe rearranging things, cleaning, making your space feel more nurturing. You'll be drawn to foods that feel nourishing rather than just functional. You'll want soft blankets, warm baths, quiet evenings. This isn't laziness or regression. This is your soul reclaiming its right to rest. But here's where it gets really interesting. On a material level, this transit brings undeniable luck and positive momentum to domestic matters. Because there are no retrograde planets right now, none. Everything is moving forward at full speed. This is an exceptionally auspicious window for anything related to your living situation. If you've been thinking about moving, looking for a new place, finalizing a lease, or making your current space more livable, tomorrow and the days following are cosmically supported. Jupiter's direct motion in Cancer means doors open quickly. Opportunities appear. Financial stability related to home and security gets a major boost. And then there's the relational aspect. Cancer doesn't just govern physical homes, it governs your soul family, the people who truly see you and nourish you. Tomorrow's energy will magnetically draw you toward individuals who offer genuine care, reciprocal support, and unconditional acceptance. But it will also gently expose where your emotional labor has been one-sided, where you've been functioning as the perpetual caretaker without receiving care in return, where you've been giving from an empty cup. The blessing here is clarity, the emotional intelligence to recognize which connections genuinely nourish you and which ones drain you. This isn't about cutting people off dramatically, it's about gracefully redirecting your energy toward relationships that honor your true nature. And as you do, you'll notice something beautiful. The right people start showing up. The ones who get you. The ones who protect your peace. The ones who feel like home. Your intuition just got a massive upgrade. The third blessing might be the most valuable of all, and it's already starting to activate. Under the heavy influence of Mercury conjunct Mars and Saturn, which is happening right now today, your decision-making has been clouded. Your mind has been operating in either rigid, fearful restriction, Saturn, or aggressive, reactive impulse, Mars. There's been no space for instinct, no room for the quiet, subtle knowing that comes from your gut. But tomorrow, when the moon enters Cancer and merges with exalted Jupiter, your internal compass gets completely recalibrated. And this isn't a subtle shift. This is a quantum upgrade of your intuitive faculties. Cancer is arguably the most intuitive sign in the zodiac. It doesn't need data, logic, or 5-year plans to know what's true. It feels truth. It senses energetic undercurrents. It picks up on what's unsaid, what's hidden beneath the surface. And when the moon returns home to Cancer, your ability to access this deep instinctual knowing becomes razor sharp. You'll notice it immediately. Decisions that felt impossible yesterday will suddenly feel obvious. You'll know what to do without being able to explain why. Your gut will speak, and instead of second-guessing it, you'll trust it. And when you trust it, you'll realize it's been right all along. This intuitive magnetism becomes your guide. It pulls you toward opportunities that logic alone would miss. It steers you away from situations that look good on paper but feel wrong in your body. It helps you read people accurately, not through what they say, but through the energy they carry. And here's what makes this blessing so strategically powerful. You're gaining this intuitive clarity right before the Venus-Uranus conjunction on April 23rd. That's a massive, disruptive, revolutionary transit that brings sudden changes in relationships and values. If you were still operating from the frazzled, defensive, mentally exhausted state of the Aries stellium, that Uranian lightning would be chaotic, potentially destructive. But because you've spent April 21st and 22nd anchored in the deep emotional security and intuitive wisdom of the Cancer moon, you'll be able to navigate those sudden changes with grace. You'll know which revolutionary shifts to embrace and which to decline. Your inner compass will be so strong that external chaos can't knock you off course. This is why the timing of this lunar ingress is so profound. It's not random. The universe is giving you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. The blessing of intuition arrives just in time to protect you, guide you, and help you harness the wild energies that are about to erupt. Why this energy feels so different? Let me explain something that the document makes very clear. The reason this lunar ingress hits different isn't just because the moon is in Cancer. It's not even just because Jupiter is exalted there. It's because of the stark, brutal contrast between what came before and what's arriving now. Imagine you've been walking through a freezing, violent storm, wind cutting through your clothes, rain pelting your face, you're soaked, exhausted, and you can barely see 2 feet in front of you. And then suddenly, you step through a door into a warm, safe house, fireplace crackling, soft light, complete shelter. The warmth doesn't just feel good, it feels like salvation, it feels like mercy, it feels like the universe finally saw you struggling and said, "Okay, enough, come inside." That's what tomorrow is. After weeks of the Aries stellium demanding that you be strong, aggressive, defended and relentless, after Mars and Saturn choking your momentum and Mercury frying your nervous system, the moon in Cancer is the warm house, the safe space, the permission to finally stop fighting. And because Jupiter is there, amplifying everything, the relief isn't just personal, it's cosmic, it's grace, it's the universe pouring abundance, emotional wealth and spiritual faith into your cup after it's been bone dry for far too long. This is why people who are attuned to energy will feel this transit so intensely. Most people won't consciously register the shift. They'll just notice they feel a little better, a little softer, a little more at ease. But you'll feel the full weight of it. The profound release, the massive unlocking, the return to emotional authenticity. And you'll realize something important. Strength isn't about never breaking. It's about knowing when it's safe to soften. Real power comes from the courage to be vulnerable, to rest deeply, and to trust your intuition over the noise of the world. What you need to do right now. Tomorrow's energy is a gift, but like any gift, you have to be willing to receive it, and that means making space. First, let yourself feel whatever comes up. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to sleep for 12 hours, sleep. If you need to be alone, be alone. The moon in Cancer doesn't ask you to be productive. It asks you to be present with your own emotional truth. Second, turn your attention to your physical environment, your home, your space, your body. What needs nourishment? What needs to be released? Clean your space if it feels cluttered. Take a long bath or shower. Water is Cancer's element, and it's the most powerful tool for washing away the Aries residue. Cook yourself something warm and comforting. Wear soft clothes. Create sanctuary. Third, pay attention to the people in your life. Who makes you feel safe? Who drains you? Tomorrow's energy will make this painfully obvious. Trust what you feel. You don't need to make dramatic changes immediately, but start noticing. Start honoring your own needs. And finally, listen to your intuition. Really listen. Not with your anxious mind, not with your logical brain, but with that quiet, deep knowing in your gut. It's going to speak clearly over the next few days. And when it does, trust it. Follow it. It won't lead you astray. The lightning is coming, but you'll be ready. There's one more thing you need to know. The sanctuary you build tomorrow, the emotional security you establish, the intuitive clarity you gain, it's not just for your own comfort. It's preparation. On April 23rd, just 2 days after the moon enters Cancer, Venus forms an exact conjunction with Uranus at the final degree of Taurus. This is revolutionary energy, sudden, unpredictable, potentially shocking. It brings unexpected changes in relationships, values, and material resources. It can manifest as lightning strike attractions, sudden financial shifts, or clean breaks from stagnant situations. If you are still operating from the burnt-out, defensive, mentally exhausted energy of the Aries stellium, this Venus-Uranus conjunction could be devastating. You'd be too fragile, too frazzled, too ungrounded to handle the sudden disruption. But because the moon gave you these 3 blessings, emotional release, deep sanctuary, and intuitive clarity, you'll meet that lightning from a place of strength. The emotional fortress you build tomorrow becomes your anchor. When everything around you starts shifting rapidly, you won't panic, you won't fracture, you'll stay centered, trust your gut, and recognize exactly which changes serve your highest good. This is the genius of cosmic timing. The universe doesn't just throw chaos at you, it gives you the tools to navigate it first. The moon in Cancer is your tool. Use it. Tomorrow changes everything. I want you to really understand this. Tomorrow isn't just another day. It's not just another moon transit. It's a turning point, a cosmic exhale after weeks of holding your breath. The version of you that's been surviving the Aries battlefield, exhausted, defended, operating on pure willpower, that version gets to rest now. The armor can come off. The emotional floodgates can open. The deep, authentic feelings you've been suppressing can finally surface and be honored. And when they do, when you allow yourself to feel everything fully, you unlock something most people never access: the profound power of emotional authenticity, the unshakable foundation of inner sanctuary, the razor-sharp guidance of pure intuition. These aren't abstract spiritual concepts. These are real, tangible blessings that will change how you move through your life, how you make decisions, how you relate to others, how you recognize your own worth. Tomorrow the moon comes home, and in doing so it invites you to come home too, home to yourself, home to your truth, home to the understanding that your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's your greatest strength. This hits different because you've earned it. You survived the fire, you made it through the gauntlet, and now the waters of cancer are here to heal what the flames burned. Let them. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.